Look at every plant, every tree.
Okay?
Now study it. Study it. And you'll see the molecules.
Oh, hello.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah.
So I'd just like to ask, so I want to talk about the God thing real quick, but I just wanted to get your standpoint on morality. Do you believe it's objective or subjective?
Subjective.
Okay, subjective. So in your worldview, can you tell me anything beyond human opinion that makes like baby murder wrong or not?
No, it's just a human opinion.
Okay, and you don't think that's barbaric? You can equip yourself with moral relativism, like you can live that out?
What's wrong with that? I don't like to do that thing that therefore is bad to me. What makes you think you have some kind of special access to morality that I don't have?
Because I
Our
believe that the
morality is
creator.
the same. Like we don't need God for morality.
Yeah, I think we need a mind that precedes the human mind. That's a moral lawgiver. So not
Why?
yeah. So to have objective morality, not only do we
What?
need. I know some
No,
people
no,
argue.
no, no. Why do we? First of all, that's false. If
Hmm.
God's a mind, it's just your God's subjective opinion. But more
Yeah, but
importantly, why do we need objectivity?
yeah. So it's not about needing it. I mean, I think it just allows society to flourish. I mean, I believe the
So
more
does
godless
subjective
society.
morality. So does subjective morality allow us to flourish?
Hmm. I think a God-fearing society benefits morality. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
without.
Look at the Crusades. Look at what
Mhm,
Christians are doing, trying to take away
mhm,
abortion rights and trying to take
yeah.
away LGBT rights. That is barbaric, sir. Christianity is a barbaric thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Your religion says you can murder or grape. Your religion,
Yeah.
your God promotes grape.
Okay, okay. So first of all, God does not promote grape. That is
Yes, he
completely
does.
not
In
true.
Deuteronomy 10,
He
in Deuteronomy
promotes
22:28, in Leviticus 20:13.
Leviticus 20:13. He does not promote grape.
It
It's about
promotes
being gay.
it promotes murdering.
That's different than grape for one. But sure, if you want to say it promotes murdering, well, I believe that on a subjective standpoint, on your moral worldview, when you're trying to argue like, oh, your God promotes this, beyond your subjective opinion, your opinion has no weight. Like, what are you
Okay,
actually
great.
judging
Yes,
morality
it
off of?
does. It doesn't have weight because our opinions is how we act and behave in our world, regardless of God or not, if God exists or not. We can still have morality, right? Everything I do is not because I fear Magic Sky Daddy, but because I
Hmm.
genuinely want to do good. I genuinely
Hmm.
care about other people. That's a way better moral system than one like yours, where we're all scared of this magic wizard. That's a ridiculous notion of morality. That is pathetic. A
Hmm.
secular morality is way more prosperous, as we see in today's world, where people have more rights than ever before, not because of Christians, but because of people who deny and reject the Christian garbage.
Hmm. Okay, so when you're judging my God's morality and your God, but you don't accept it, but when you're judging God's morality, on what basis are you judging it off beyond your subjective opinion? Have you got anything? Because if not, then that's not a good argument,
My
man. You need
morality,
something.
so my morality it comes from looking at the consequences to my actions. If I punch
Hmm.
somebody in the face, it hurts them. I
Hmm.
reflect on that and I go, "Wow, I want not want that to happen to me, so I don't do it back to other people." It's the golden rule, and this is something that humans have had for thousands of years
Hmm.
without a God.
Yeah, so I'm not saying humans can't be moral without a God, but I'm saying when you're judging the
So why do
Bible's
we?
morality,
So
what
then why do?
basis are you using that off of?
No. So when I judge your God, it's an internal critique, right? Like for example, do you think murdering LGBT people is wrong?
I'd need context of a situation. What do you mean? On what basis? On for no reason? Then yeah, of course, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So murdering innocent people is
Yeah,
wrong.
great. So when the Bible says that you can
Hmm.
do that in Leviticus
Hmm.
20:13, what do you have to say about that? Do you think it's
Yeah,
do you
so
condemn your
The
God?
Bible says yeah, the Bible says murdering innocent people is wrong. Being LGBT
No, it
is evil.
doesn't. No,
So
it doesn't. No, LGBT people are innocent. They haven't
okay,
done
well,
anything wrong.
in God's worldview, being gay in the Bible is an extreme crime against God. So it isn't being innocent in this context.
Being who you are is a crime.
Uh, okay, if you want to talk about being who you are and all this, would you say that being gay is something that's natural?
Absolutely. We
Would you
find it
say
in
that being,
multiple species of in the planet, multiple
would you say
species of animals.
would you say there's pedophiles who have natural urges they can't control?
That's utterly. I can't believe you're making that fucking that analogy. Being LGBT is not harming anybody, jackass.
Yeah. So I disagree that it is harming people. I think it is harming people.
How is it
And
harming somebody? How is it harming somebody to be simply LGBT?
how is it harming somebody? Yeah. So first of all, the HIV rates in the
No, no,
LGBT
no, no.
community
That's
are
not what I
high.
said, sir. How is
Hmm.
simply being LGBT harming somebody?
Yeah, so because when you have a generation of people that are spreading this, being LGBT is okay, you're telling them something which goes against God is okay. And if you're
No,
pulling
no,
people
no,
away
no,
from
no.
God,
Stop, you fucking jackass.
okay,
Answer my question.
yeah,
What is harming somebody by simply being LGBT? What harm is that
okay.
doing?
So in my worldview, God is real.
No,
So
no, 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 no. We're not in your garbage world, dude. We're in reality now, right? We're in
okay,
reality.
hmm,
So, in reality, what harm is simply being LGBT doing?
you mean in your reality where there's nothing objectively wrong with rape? Your reality?
It's wrong to
In
me.
your
Rape is wrong
reality
to
is
me.
better than mine?
Absolutely, it is absolutely wrong to me.
Hmm.
Period.
To you,
And
to
I
you,
don't
anything
see
outside of
God.
that?
This is a nice cop out, jackass. You
It's not a cop
dishonest
out.
piece of trash. But if you
Hmm.
just listen to my argument, you
Hmm.
recognize that you actually have no justification, not only for your belief, but for your ethics. So
Hmm.
please answer the question: what harm is somebody doing? Oh, he left. There's nothing wrong with being that way. It is perfectly natural and normal, and your God doesn't exist.
Hello, just give me a second. I'm find my mic.
Everybody go follow my YouTube, link in bio for my YouTube, all my debates. Come on, Sarah, please hurry up.
I got it. How are you, man?
Yeah, what's your argument?
Uh, I thought you was the one bringing arguments,
No,
but
sir.
I'll tell
These
you,
are my stances. What's your
I'll
argument?
debunk.
Teach them.
Yeah, I'll debunk it pretty quick with a mic drop in the end. So listen. So there's a boat, right? And I have a meeting, and I'm gonna take this boat, but this boat didn't arrive, so I came very late. And the people asked me, "Why are you so late?" So I told them, "Well, the boat didn't arrive, so I had to just sit there and wait." And suddenly, from the water, wood came. And then
The
after
what? The
the
what?
came from
The
the
what?
water,
Sir, the
wood,
what?
wood, like trees from trees, wood, WOOD. And then nails came.
Where's the fucking mic drop? I'm waiting for the fucking mic drop.
Yeah, so nails came after that, and then put this wood together. Then rows came that you can row with out of the water. And then I sat in the boat, and suddenly, like this, this flag that pushes the wind came from the water too. And it just was perfectly put on top of the boat. Then I rowed to the meeting. And the people there asked me, "So you're telling me a boat came from the water and nails and hammers and stuff?" I said, "Yeah." Said to me, "You're crazy."
Ah,
I said to them, "That's your theory. That's exactly what you're saying."
what?
Mic
What am I
drop.
saying? What?
You're saying everything came to existence of itself.
No,
Yeah, like a boat
I
from a
never said
water.
that. When did I
Like
say that?
wood
When
and
did I say
nails from
that?
the water.
When did I
Aren't you
say that
atheist?
nail? When
Aren't
did
you
I say that
atheist?
nails came from the water?
Well, it's the same theory. You see
What?
how
When
crazy
did
it
I
is?
ever say nails come from the water? When did I say that?
No, you said the universe came from nothing,
No,
right?
I never said that either. I never said that.
And you won't accept a little boat from nothing?
I never said the universe came from nowhere. Where'd you get that from?
Okay, where did it come from then?
Could have always existed.
How?
How not?
How can something exist when it doesn't exist?
It always did exist, just like your God.
How?
Right? Just like you say God
How?
always
How?
was. Just as you say God was always there, we can say the universe always was there.
Well, God is a different analogy because God is out of time. So when
Oh,
the universe
oh,
and the
so
sun and the
God,
moon
so God doesn't
and
need.
the earth,
So who started God? Who made God?
well, this is what I'm telling you. Our concept of time is the sun and the earth and the moon
No,
doing
no. Listen,
years,
stop, sir.
we
Listen,
counting minutes, counting
sir,
hours.
sir. Stop and listen. Where did God come from?
Well, I just told you. He was always there. He's out of time.
Okay, great,
But
great. So
our
why can't
universe
so why
has time.
great? So why
We
can't
know
the
this. This is a
universe?
fact.
Great. So why can't the universe always be there?
Well, because we know it had the start. And
Where?
it hasn't.
When did it start?
The Big Bang.
No, the Big Bang was not the start.
Well, something spark. It was like
No,
right
no.
before the Big Bang.
No, the Big Bang is not the start of the universe. The
Okay,
universe
it was
has
a
always
ball, right?
existed. No,
It
it
was a
wasn't a
ball of
ball.
high
Okay.
energy.
No, it wasn't a ball of energy. That's stupid.
Or what was it? Tell me your theory.
What do you mean? What was it? The universe, as we know it, was once in a smaller, hotter, denser state, but has since expanded. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, what is that theory called?
The Big Bang. It's a Big Bang
Yeah,
model.
exactly. Why are you disagreeing just to disagree, my man?
What's your point, sir? The Big Bang is based on evidence and facts. God's based on nothing but fantasy.
Yes, but the Big Bang has a start, right?
No,
That
it doesn't. No, the
complete
Big Bang doesn't have
density,
a,
and then
no, the Big Bang does not have a start, nor is it the start of the
okay,
universe.
did life have a start? Life on Earth.
Yes, life began on
Oh,
with amino acids. That has nothing to do
yeah,
with the
so
Big Bang.
yeah, so again we can go back to that analogy that life came from nothing, right?
No, I never said it came from nothing. See,
Well, at some point it
you're
had to
too
not
ignorant. See,
be there.
you're too ignorant to be part of this conversation because you recognize that I never said nothing made everything, right? What we're saying is that the universe always existed and through time it has since changed and yielded all these things we see today, galaxies, stars, because of gas stars that collapse, planetary disks form, stars form, galaxies form, and all these things we have evidence for can observe in reality. We have no evidence of a God making anything, especially not the universe we live in, because if he did a shitty job.
I would disagree.
The universe could exist without God. It could be perfectly natural without God. I never said it came from nothing. So stop strawmanning me and give actually evidence for God.
Okay, I just want to go back to the analogy a little bit.
No. Your analogies
Bec-
suck. And I just debunked
No, you just literally
It's not
said
analogous.
the universe put itself together.
No, I did not, you jackass. I never said that. Stop putting words in my mouth.
Okay, can you please stop
No,
insulting me?
no, you're insulting my intelligence here, sir, by pretending as if you had a point here and that I'm just going to go along with it. I will never just go along with your nonsense. It's ridiculous. It's not analogous because I never said the universe came from nothing. Stop putting those words in my mouth. But more importantly, learn some damn physics because physics allows
Say
you
something
to
genuine.
understand how galaxies and stars got here in life, all of which require no God, no magic, no supernatural. So give me evidence for your God or go away. This is your last chance to give me evidence for God. Where's your evidence for
Yeah,
God?
I will give it to you. I will give it to you. I just want to say something genuine. I know.
Nope. Next. Give me evidence of God or go away. Give me an argument or go away.
Okay, I have something to say about the vegan aspect of this because I feel like that's not getting talked about. I just wanted to say, so are you vegan? I assume you are, considering of what you have in the background.
Yeah, what's your argument?
Okay, so transportation of your vegan goods in trucks and in planes are polluting the air, which is therefore killing bees and harming our environment further,
Yeah.
rather
So
than
stop. So first of all, everything has to be transported, right? We can't live in a world where nothing's transported, or else we'd all be dead, right? So that's not what veganism means. So you don't know what veganism means. So
that's,
you
I didn't say I knew what
okay, great.
veganism
So
means.
what does
I am saying
so you don't know what it means. See, you don't know what veganism means. if you want to really debate me, you have to understand what we're talking about, okay? Veganism doesn't mean we stop all bad things. That's not what veganism means. It doesn't mean we're perfect and that no greenhouse gas emissions or we kill no animals. That's not what veganism means. What veganism means is to minimize harm and suffering to the animals. That's it. And when it comes to greenhouse gas emissions, vegans have a 75% lower carbon footprint relative to meat eaters, because meat eaters kill way more crops, they kill way more trees, way more deforestation. Because guess what? All the animals that you guys love to slaughter and abuse require food. And where do we grow them? On the earth. We have to grow all these crops. In fact, 70% of crops are being fed to your animals that you guys slaughter. So if you want to look at the logistics of things, then recognize that meat eaters are causing way more harm to the environment, by far, way more harm. And that's why, that's only one of the reasons why I'm vegan. The primary reason why I'm vegan is because I don't want to harm animals if I don't have to, in any sense. And that's what veganism means. It doesn't mean I'm perfect. It means I do what I can to minimize harm to others. Everybody go follow my YouTube, link in bio. Keep tapping for more people.
Yo, what up, Mike?
Hey, what do you got?
Bro, I don't think vegan is sustainable, man.
Why not?
It's just not sustainable, bro.
Why not?
What are we gonna do with all the animals, man?
They're going to be put in sanctuaries. That's as they are already being put into.
Who's gonna pay for it?
We are. Just like we're already paying for farm animals, right? We stuff 80 billion animals in factories every single day. Did you know that 80 billion animals are locked in cages right now around the world? Who's paying for that? The government, right? Well, if everybody went, first of all, the situation you're bringing up is actually not going to happen. We're not all going to go vegan tomorrow. But more importantly, the animals that you guys slaughter, right? We have to raise into existence every year, and then we kill them. And this happens every single year. So the amount of animals that you're causing to exist is way more than vegans are. Vegans want to stop this, right? The solution is to go vegan, because vegans are going to stop that production of animals. This way, the population of animals goes down, right? As it naturally
So
should.
basically, the purpose of veganism for you is not to cause harm to the animal, correct?
Right. And what you're doing by eating animals is causing them harm in factories.
What if they were unalived ethically?
How do you do that to somebody who doesn't have to die?
By not causing harm to them, not cause them suffering.
Okay. So what would that look like to you? What kind of method would that be like?
I don't know, for example, like halal. Halal doesn't cause them suffering.
How do you do halal?
Halal is like cutting with a sharp knife on the throat.
That's harm.
Bro, they don't suffer. Look
That's
it up.
harm.
It's scientific. They don't suffer.
That's harm, sir. You're slitting an animal's neck open. That's
But they
harm.
don't feel pain, bro. That's the point.
You don't feel pain by getting your neck slit open?
No, look it up. It's science. You love science. Look it up.
What? Wait, you think there's no pain involved when you slit somebody's neck? There's no
Yes,
pain?
bro. It's scientifically proven.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, great. So would you think killing somebody this way would it be okay if I slit your neck open? Would that be okay?
You can't equate humans to animals, bro.
Why not? What's the difference?
We're different. Come on, Mike. You know that. Come on.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
What's the difference between an animal and a human being?
What's the morally relevant difference that justifies killing the animal?
All right, I'm gonna ask you. Did you used to eat meat, or were you always vegan?
No, can you stick to the logic, sir? Right?
I am. I'm trying to prove your logic wrong.
What is the
You always
morally?
vegan?
It doesn't matter. What is the morally?
Exactly, Mike.
What is the-
Exactly.
Stop. What is the morally relevant difference between animals and humans that justifies killing the animal but not the person? What's the difference?
Because animals are not like humans, bro. We are more
Great.
intelligent.
So what's the difference? What's the difference?
The difference I'm trying to explain to you is: were you always vegan,
What
or were
is the
you?
difference?
Did you used to eat meat? Did you used to eat meat, or were you
What
always
is the
vegan?
difference?
Between an animal and a human?
Yeah, what's the morally relevant difference?
Bro, there's a big difference. One was created for food. One was created not for food.
Okay,
That's the difference.
How do you know that they were created for food when they're made of the same stuff we're made of? We're made of the same meat the animals are made of.
See, that's kind of hard to argue because you said God is imaginary, so I'm trying to
No,
stay away from
no,
God.
demonstrate that they were created for food when we are made of the same stuff they are.
Have you ever ate a human before you became vegan, Mike?
Yeah, so can you stick to the logic?
I'm sticking to the logic, bro.
You're not. You're not answering my question, right? You haven't answered. How do you know that the animals are created for food? How do you know
They
that?
don't feel the same way we do.
Yes, they do. Cows can feel pain. Pigs can feel pain. Pigs are smarter than average toddlers. Did you know that pigs are as smart, if not smarter, than babies and toddlers? They can feel pain. They can get depressed. They can
Well,
get
I'm with you on that
anxiety.
one. I don't
They
eat
can get
pig, bro.
nervous and stressed out, right? And cows too.
I'm with you. I don't eat pig, so you good on there.
No,
Yeah.
you're not good. No, you're not recognizing the fact that all the animals that you guys slaughter are sentient and they feel pain. So why do you want to cause them pain?
There are certain ways, yes, depending on how they unalive them, yes, they can feel pain, but there are ethical ways to
Why do
unalive.
you want to kill them? Why do you want to kill them?
Hey, Mike, say unalive so your live don't get banned, bro.
Why?
But
Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to do it? Answer the question.
why do I want to do it? It's not necessarily that I want to do it. I mean, I just buy it.
What justifies it? What justifies doing it if you don't have to?
We have to, bro.
We have to eat the animals?
How else are we gonna get our protein, man?
Tofu, beans, rice, vegetables, fruits, all the above have protein.
You know how much of that you got to eat to get like the adequate amount of protein you need for the day, though?
As much as you eat. I eat as much as you eat. Lentils have as much protein per calorie as meat.
No, it don't, bro.
Yeah, it does. Lentils, look it up, have like, I believe 17 or 18 grams of protein per serving, just like meat.
Well, shoot, bro. I don't really got an argument then. All right, I hear you, bro. I'll let you get on to the next guest.
All right. Guys, I understand that there's a lot of angst against me because I'm vegan. But I'm here
Hello.
to change that. Hey, what do you got?
Hey, I have a question about veganism. But it starts with, I want to understand, do you think humans are animals?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, in nature, when other animals kill other animals, do you consider that more natural than humans killing animals?
Yeah, so in the wild, animals have to kill each other to survive, right? Like a lion and a gazelle, they have to kill each other, unfortunately. But in our society, we have stores, right? We can choose to eat plant-based foods instead, right? We can, because we're humans, we have the ability to go to the store and buy anything we want. So
Right.
that's why as a vegan, I want to buy more plant-based foods. This way we have a society that doesn't have as much harm as the wild does.
I see. So it's about reducing harm. Veganism is reduction of harm. So would you consider it if humans went out in nature and acquired meat in that form?
Suffering.
I see. And then I had another thought about actual diet and like the chemistry of veganism, because it's a very high carb diet, and a high carb diet does a unique thing to the liver and raises insulin and changes. There's a lot of information on the good and the bad of veganism, but the bad is how high the carbs are.
No, so you can be a keto vegan, right? There's vegans that are keto. By the way, you can be actually very
That's a
healthy
hard
as a vegan.
diet, though.
No, it's not. There's like avocados, like all these things that have tons of protein and fats without the carbs. But more importantly, veganism is not a diet; it's an ethical stance. But when it comes to plant-based diets, there's tons of studies that show plant-based diets are way more healthier. They actually lower the risk of diabetes if you're getting a whole plant-based diet, a whole foods plant-based diet. In other words, you're not buying so much garbage and stuff that is artificial. You're buying, natural foods. So vegan diets can be very healthy for you.
I've heard differently, and I've seen a
Okay, well,
lot of.
the studies, the evidence backs up what I'm saying, right? We have the EPIC
Well,
study,
there is
we have the
evidence
healthy
supporting both that veganism is healthy for, and actually, if you want to go really deep into the evidence, it's blood type that veganism is aligns with the most, specifically type A negative and A positive blood is supposed to be scientifically proven vegan. Type
Yeah.
O positive is supposed to be.
Where's your evidence of that? Like, where's your
So
evidence?
there's a doctor named Dr. Amato, and he wrote a book called
No,
Eat
no,
Right
no,
for
no,
Your
no.
Blood
I don't
Type.
want some wacko. I don't want some wacko
No,
guy.
it's not a wacko. So this doctor, he did a
No.
two
Listen,
generation study. No, this is
listen.
peer reviewed. This is you got to let me speak before you shut down this is information you clearly don't have. So let me give it to you. So this information comes from this doctor, and it's been peer reviewed, and a lot of people. It's a controversial book.
Great. So give me the study. Where's the source?
You'll have to look it up. I'm not at a laptop, but his name is Dr. Amato. I want to say.
I don't care about the doctor's name. What's the
His name is Dr. Amato. I want to say.
I don't care about the doctor's name. What's the
Information is really
fantastic. Great. Give me the information. I haven't seen anything of what you're saying to be true.
Well, I can describe to you a bit of what the study talks about, but they did a 2-generation study of these doctors. It was a father and a son, and they had patients for 80 years together, and the patients were having similar diets but different results with their health. One would be
okay. That's 2 subjects. So by off the bat, that's a
but
bad.
this is how
study.
they
That's
found
2
out that
subjects.
blood type
No,
is a big role in
no. Off
choosing
the
a
bat,
diet.
stop. Off
But you
the
have to
bat-
let me speak. You're not. First off, you're not. This isn't.
First of all, this is a debate stage about veganism, not about diet. Second of all, a study that incorporates 2 subjects is not a study. Okay? It is not a study worth anything. In science, we care about large groups of people, large subjects, not 2 people. That's how we get evidence. And naming a doctor isn't evidence.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah, so you said God is imaginary. In like that proposition, do you just mean like you believe he's only imaginary, or you just like why is your view that?
The gods, the things about that you call God I've heard of are not to me imaginary to me. They don't exist in reality. I don't see any evidence for them. So do you have any evidence for
That's
God?
the argument of ignorance, fallacy. So
No,
you're saying
that's not an
because
argument. I wasn't making an argument. I was simply asking you for evidence of God.
yeah, but you just said you don't see any evidence, therefore you believe
Yeah.
he doesn't exist.
Yeah,
That would be
if there's no
false reason.
evidence, if there's no evidence of something, it's not good to believe it, right? I withhold belief in God until there's evidence for it. So where's your evidence of God?
Okay, so you're agnostic then.
No, I'm agnostic atheist. I don't believe in God, but
Yeah,
I
so
don't
I
know
just
if God doesn't exist, right? I want evidence for God though.
Okay then, so you just confirmed you don't denote, like you don't actually have objective truth. You don't have like you don't know if God exists is objective or not.
Yeah, I'm looking.
You-
That's why I asked you for evidence
So
of God.
why?
How do you know God
I
exists?
want to get
Because you're
I wanna
making the
explain
claim.
why, but you kind of did affirm that it wasn't the case that he did exist on your title. So, but
It's most likely the case that God doesn't exist based on the lack of evidence for it, right?
so you're going with Occam's
So
razor.
where's your evidence for God now?
All right, so the reason why I think God exists is because wait, do you know what the laws of logic are?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it is the case that the mind is immaterial and we interact with these laws of logic through the mind, because how else would we use verification to know that they exist? It would just be the case that logical contradictions can occur because the mind is dependent upon the laws of logic, and the laws of logic are also interacting with the mind. The mind interacts with the material world, and how can the immaterial and non-physical, how can a non-physical and physical interact, that's a contradiction. So there would just have to be something.
Right. So this is a form of the transcendental argument, and it fails for several reasons. Then the way you presented it today is
I didn't finish it. I didn't finish it.
the way you presented it today was embedded. It was multiple straw men and multiple
Okay,
presuppositions.
so now you're just withholding the dialect.
Hold
That
on.
would be a
Let
concession.
me refute. Let me refute. Okay.
How can you refute if I haven't finished the argument?
Okay. So the reason why this argument's bad is because you're presupposing the mind is immaterial. One, it's not. It's a physical thing. We can describe thoughts as physical. Two, logic doesn't have an ontology separate from our minds. Logic is emergent of the mind. So when you say, well, if there is no minds, would logic exist? No, logic is not prescriptive to the universe. The universe isn't sitting around waiting for logic to tell it what to do. The universe exists the way it does. Logic is a language, a linguistic model that humans use to describe it. And in that sense, it is mind dependent. And the mind being immaterial fits perfectly within a naturalistic view. God is unneeded. So that's why this argument is bad. So go ahead and give us your evidence or refutation on that, please.
So yeah, you said the mind. Do you agree the mind is immaterial?
No, I don't know what an immaterial thing is. That doesn't make
So
any
the
sense.
immaterial thing would just be something with no physical substance, something that's not
Yeah,
subject
I
to.
don't know what that is. I don't know what a non-physical thing is.
Yeah, I'm explaining something that's not subject to time and space. So it has no substance, no matter.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, so then you just said the laws of logic are mind independent, right? So then how do we even know they exist? How can we even verify them to actually be an actual thing?
So logic is just merely a language, right? It's a linguistic model that our
Where
brains
where are
produce.
you getting that assertion from?
It's how our brains think. It's called the prefrontal cortex, right? Which processes logic in the
That's
brain.
not what logic is. Logic's a non-physical.
Okay, great. So where's your evidence of that? How do you know that logic's non-physical?
Because it derives from conception. We interact with it through conception, and the only reason we're interacting with it is from the mind. Therefore, the mind has to be immaterial.
You're presupposing that. You're begging the question there. I'm asking
I
you,
just
how do you
proved
know?
why it would be the case that the mind is immaterial.
Yeah, I'm asking you, how do you know that the mind is immaterial? And you just said, well,
Because
that's
we
how we interact
interact
with
with
it.
logic.
Why can't logic be a descriptive thing that our brains produce through neurons, neural activity in the brain?
If that was the case, then the laws of logic wouldn't actually be transcendental over reality.
Yeah, they're not.
The laws of logic
They're
are.
not. That's why.
So then you believe contradictions can exist and a logicality can
No,
exist.
because again, the sheer statement that contradictions don't exist is a mind-dependent claim that depends on minds to be had.
That doesn't correlate to your point at all.
No, it
then
seems
what
like
do
you
you-
don't understand what I just told you. Let me repeat myself again for you. So logic is a thought process in the brain. And when you say that contradictions don't or can't exist, that is a true statement, but it is only true because our minds are here to make that statement. Truth is descriptive just as logic is descriptive. And it all comes from the mind, which can literally be physical. It can be an emergence.
No, truth can have physical representation, yes, but actual things that have truth value are determined via the laws of logic, which are not physical. They only govern physical things. And that's why I'm saying that atemporal causation happens, which is a contradiction. Therefore, there has to be something working like outside the scope of. You've yet to prove that logical is a physical thing. You're just saying that.
Yeah, so again, the prefrontal cortex is evidence that logic is physical, right? Because the prefrontal cortex in the brain is what processes logic and language. And language is a physical thing in the brain that literally logic. Hold on, please. Process language to describe things, right? So we
Yes,
use language, we use words. Hold on, please. We use numbers and letters to describe reality, right? That's a language that we invented as people. That's what logic is.
That
Logic
is not
is
what
those sets.
logic
Hold
is.
on,
Have you
hold
studied
on,
philosophy?
hold on. Logic are those sets of thought processes in the brain. That's all I'm saying. This is a perfectly valid and coherent.
Rationality. You're just getting up. I asked you how you know how it is that you know that logic is a physical thing that exists.
Because we have neuroscience to understand what language means and that it comes from the prefrontal cortex.
You're just like false equivocating logic and language. Language is not the same thing as logic.
What's
Logic
wrong?
dictates language. Yes, that's true, but language is also not a physical thing unless you prescribe.
Yes, it is. Language is a
Wait, I
physical
wasn't finished.
phenomenon in the brain. Language.
I wasn't finished. I was saying language is also not a physical thing unless you denote the fact that we use our brains to then like reenact language through physical means, like through empiricism. So through the basis of empiricism, so like sound, etc.
You seem to be very confused. I don't know why you're bringing up empiricism. The fact of reality is that we have neuroscience which can demonstrate that language comes from the prefrontal cortex.
Yes,
That's evidence that logic is physical. You're making the claim that logic can't be physical. You have yet to demonstrate that. You there, sir? We can't hear you. Logic is physical. It's a language. They're the same things.
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm asking where you got.
Stop asking me questions and start giving an argument that counters what I'm saying, right? You're not giving a counter.
So in a dialect, you're gonna say stop asking you questions because you can't fulfill the burden.
I did, sir. I just gave you evidence that logic is physical. Neuroscience.
Brain and language is blah blah blah. You're not actually like you could just be saying stuff, and I know it's not true anyway.
Can you start refuting? Can you start refuting?
Since you can't actually contend what I'm saying, then I'll just give you another argument. What is your position on what's it called? Platonic concepts.
I'm not a Platonist. I don't hold to that.
Okay, so do you believe concepts are real?
Concepts are physical phenomena in the mind, in the brain.
Well, why is that the case?
Because thoughts are physical phenomena, electrochemical signals in the brain. Because thoughts are physical phenomena, electrochemical signals in the brain.
This is proving my point from the last argument.
Hold on. We can take thoughts and observe them with fMRI machines. We can take thoughts, we can convert them to images and text. This is evidence that thoughts are physical phenomenon.
That's not evidence.
That's not a counter. Do you have an actual counter?
Say evidence. You're meant to be a.
Sir, you keep cutting out, sir. Can't hear you.
An imagination. Imagination, abstract things.
Yeah,
they're all like not physical things.
They're just thoughts in the mind. There's no magic there. There's no immaterialness there.
So how can we show, just because we can describe thoughts with physical means and we can express it doesn't mean that the actual thoughts are actually physical.
It does.
That's just fallacious.
We don't just describe thoughts. We can actually observe thoughts. We can literally like observe them. They're physical things in the mind.
That does not entail that we can observe them and then correlate that.
Yes, it does. We can observe thoughts with fMRI. We can take your thoughts and convert them to images. We can already do this. We can already do this.
That's us expressing what we're thinking, but not
No,
that we
that's
can't
what
actually.
we're thinking. We can actually see what you're thinking in your mind. It's amazing, but we can do it. It's called science, neuroscience. We can see.
That is not thoughts, bro.
That's not what?
That is not what a thought or concepts are.
Okay,
You can't
then
observe.
what's a thought to you? Because you're going against the neuroscience.
A thought or a concept is an abstract idea.
That's your opinion. Where's your evidence of that? And what do you mean by abstract? Right? This is the problem. You have no reason for what you're saying. Okay, I can't deal with this signal. Come back when you have a better signal. Abstract is something not physical. Well, that's a tautology. Who cares? Like, that's your opinion, right? The fact of reality is that thoughts are physical phenomena that we can observe.
Hello?
What do you got?
Yeah, man, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Alright, now, every time someone says that something that is actually making sense, you actually shut them down.
Okay, great, smart guy. Give us evidence of God then. Go ahead. Let's hear it. Let's hear your argument for God. This amazing argument.
Actually, I just came on to see your show, and I've noticed
Come on,
this
sir.
behavior of yours.
You said you had a great argument. What's the great argument that you heard? Let's hear it.
Alright, where I'm from, we call people like you Bulla man.
Okay, sir. Thanks for insulting me. Now, can you give me evidence of God now?
Right? Evidence of God is you doing your shit so people believe more.
Oh, yeah. So by doing these lives, you're going to believe in God, and that means God's real because you believe in it? That's evidence?
There are too much evidence in this world to prove.
Give me
Right.
give me one piece of evidence for your magic sky daddy that died on a stick for no fucking reason.
Bro, you need to check history before you start
Okay,
doing
great.
this kind
Okay,
of
great.
shit.
Okay, great. Give us evidence of God now. Let's hear it.
I don't have to go through all of that, bro. There's enough
Oh, but
history.
you said you had some great evidence
try-
that I take people for, right? Where's the evidence now? All of a sudden you're going.
You're
Where's the
actually
evidence?
trying
Where's
too
the
hard.
evidence? Give the evidence. Where's the evidence?
You see your behavior? That is what I'm talking about. You're trying too hard to prove that God is not real. You're trying too hard, bro.
No, I'm trying to get
You're
evidence.
trying too
I'm
hard.
trying to get evidence of God.
No, you're trying too hard.
Yeah, you're trying to not enough to give evidence, right? You're not trying at all.
I don't have
Evidence to
to.
go. Give evidence to go, Ed.
I don't have to, but you're trying too hard.
So why the fuck are you here if you're not going to be honest with us?
I'm gonna be real. I actually stumbled upon this by accident, and
Okay.
yeah,
Have a good day, sir. Thanks for wasting our time. I understand you guys love to talk shit, but the problem is that you have no substance behind it, right? You have no arguments like we just seen today. God at all. It was atrocious. Keep tapping, guys. Everybody go check out my YouTube, link in bio for more content. All my debates up there. Hey, what do you got?
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what do you got?
Okay, does thinking and your thoughts have any weight?
Thoughts are processes in the brain. They're neurochemical impulses, right? So asking, do thoughts have weight is like asking, does light have weight, right? It doesn't have mass, but they're electrical signals, right? They're photons. They're actual particles. Even though we can't measure them in terms of mass, they still are physical phenomenon, just like light and electricity. So
Okay, one moment. You just said physical phenomenon. What do you mean by that, please?
like particles in space-time, they're physical.
Okay, so those particles are physical, is what you just said?
Yeah.
When you say physical, it means that you can actually see and touch them, right? Because it's a physical
Right.
aspect of that.
So we can see thoughts.
Can you
We can
explain
observe
that?
them. What?
Can you please explain that? How
Yeah,
is it
so
physical if you can touch it?
yeah, so when we take a look at things like fMRI machines, we can go through them, and with X-rays, we can take a look at thoughts in the brain. We can actually observe electrochemical impulses. We can measure them, and we can take them, record them, and convert them into images and text. These signals in your brain respond or correlate to certain thoughts. That's how your brain operates, right? Certain signals correlate to certain thoughts. And your brain produces many thousands of signals, and if you can understand how they work, you can understand what you're thinking of.
Okay, so you had mentioned that it's physical. How can you prove that it's physical?
Because I just explained this to you, right? We can
No,
actually
no,
go
no,
through.
it's not, because you're not proving. Can you actually touch what you just had mentioned? If it's
Yeah,
physical, it's
yeah, we can. Yeah, thoughts
an image. It's
thoughts.
something that you're able to touch and hold, correct?
Yeah. So when you say, "Can you touch thoughts?" That's like saying, "Can you touch electricity?" It's a dumb question, right? In
No,
actuality,
actually, you
electricity is
can
a
touch
flow.
electricity, but you'll be dead.
Yeah. So you can touch electricity just like you can touch thoughts. But the point is like the difference is that electricity is a flow of photons, just like your thoughts are. That's the point. Your thoughts are a flow of electrons and photons in the brain. That is something that we
Now, is
observe.
that visible
But
or non-visible?
here's a better point, right? I can't hold electricity in my hand, right? I can't hold electricity in my hand. That's stupid, right? It can flow through it. That's the point I'm trying to make. Just like the brain, the thoughts can flow through the neurons, just like electrons can flow through wires. But I can't hold electricity in my hand. That's a ridiculous thing to say.
So you're telling me, can you please explain to me what an immune system is?
Okay, do you have evidence for God? I don't feel like doing Bill Nye right now. Do you have evidence for your God or not?
I don't believe in the God in the Bible. I believe that there's a superior being that happens to be a female.
Okay, great. So give evidence for this shit.
Well, can you give me evidence that it's not?
What's not? I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about to disprove it. If I don't know what you're talking about, how can I disprove it?
Can you disprove that there's not
Can you
a
disprove that I
higher
didn't fuck your
power?
mom last night? Can you disprove that your mom has a big
Can you
dildo in her
please,
right now?
come
Hey,
on,
I don't
be
care about
respectful. Come on.
disproving shit that doesn't
Why are you
exist.
so
I
upset?
want
Stop
evidence
it.
for God. I want evidence for God. I want evidence for God.
There
Now,
is a higher power.
evidence. Where's the evidence
It
for God?
shows it in
Evidence.
all our
Where's the evidence? Where's the
environment
evidence?
here on
Where's the
Earth.
evidence? Where's the evidence?
Look at every plant, every tree, every human.
Okay.
Now study it, study it, study it, and break it down, and you'll see the molecules.
Okay.
You'll,
Wow, I see it. I see the molecules.
well, actually, you can't see it because you're dumb. But I would
Oh,
like to ask you a question.
okay. Is that where God is in the plant?
Listen, we're
Okay.
all we are all living
Uh-huh.
beings.
Okay.
Okay, explain to me, what is consciousness?
I don't know. Must be God. Because I don't know biology, so let me just say it's
Okay,
God.
but is consciousness something that you can hold in your hand?
All right. This is I'm losing brain cells.
Hello there, buddy.
What do you got? Can I just get a normal person to debate me? I just want to be normal. I just want a normal person for once. Just one. Just one. Oh,
Can you hear me?
unfortunately.
Okay, so do you think people are better with or without religion?
Better.
You think it makes them better, right?
Yeah, now do you have evidence for your God?
So it would be bad if most people moved away from religion, right? So why do you think that's a good idea to convince people that God doesn't exist?
Because it leads
Because
to a more
religion makes most people better. What?
that's subjective, okay? Like you're just saying something subjective. But I would say
No,
I would
it's
say
true
this.
though. Isn't it
Religion.
true that what?
No, it's not true. Because if you take a look at countries where there's less religion, like in Europe, Northern Europe, and you know, even America or places like Australia, their lives are they have more rights, they have more freedoms, they're typically less violence, less wars. A lot of wars stem from places like in the Middle East or places where they're extremely uber fundamental in their religions. Look at the Taliban. Look at all kinds of distorted governments that stem from religion.
America starts most of the wars in everywhere. It's not the Middle East. America's the one that goes into all these places.
Yeah, so I know that the government of America typically does send or have a big, they have lots of planes, they have lots of weapons. I understand that. There's a military defense. But typically, governments are trying to help other countries. Whereas the governments that are religious typically try to harm other countries, for no reason. Whereas Americans, we try to actually help other countries. It's more of a defense. Democracies never go out and start wars. No two democracies have ever warred with each other in history. So the point is that typically these religious governments are typically more violent. But of course there are exceptions. But the point is this: the people in these governments are typically better off. They have more rights and freedoms. Whereas in the Middle East, it's, for example, in many countries in the Middle East, it is literally illegal to be LGBT. That's terrible.
Okay, but on an individual level, like someone who doesn't believe in God, who has no, who doesn't know, who doesn't have a belief in God, basically, they're not gonna be afraid to do wrong things. Sometimes they'll hurt people or they'll steal. They won't have as much morals compared to someone who's following a religion because they believe that after they die they're gonna be judged. They're gonna be.
Yeah, but a lot of
It's
it, that
just a
doesn't
fact
matter.
that.
That's ridiculous, right? It doesn't matter if you're scared. Religion is a fear tactic, and if you're going to base your entire life on fear of some magic man, that's a pathetic moral system to have. Whereas a secular moral system, one without religion, I do things because I want to generally do good. And when we're all religious, we're basically scared. You're scared of every day the end times, right? The devil's coming.
I'm
Satan's
not
coming.
scared.
No,
I'm
it's
not
religion.
scared. No, not at all. I'm just
Yes,
saying that by telling
religion.
people that God doesn't exist, you're hurting people more than you're helping them. I know that you're trying to maybe find the truth or whatever, but
No. Listen. This is a subjective judgment. How am I hurting somebody by simply asking them questions about their belief? Why is it wrong to leave religion? What's bad about that?
When most people leave religion, they start to act worse. They do things that are wrong
Okay, where's
that
your
would hurt them,
statistics?
and
Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence of this?
it's true for it. Just what do you mean? Where's the evidence? Do you think that someone
How
who's
do you,
religious is acts better than someone who's not religious? Like people who are more religious, they
how can
follow.
we possibly assess this if we have no evidence for this either way?
It's easy to observe. Like if you talk to someone who's religious, they're gonna treat you better because they think that they're gonna be judged, and like they not even just
No,
because of that.
that's see, are you Muslim?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you might not see it, but Islam is inherently wrong and awful to other people.
Why do you think that?
Islam literally says that you should be punished for being atheist. You should be dead. You should be killed. That's disgusting. Islam is a very, very harmful, violent cult.
It's not. It's not. I grew up in a
Okay, wait.
religious.
So then
I'm
why
telling
does
you.
the
No, I'm
Quran?
telling you
So
from
then why?
experience. I want to tell you from experience. I'm not gonna go.
I don't care. I don't care. What I'm saying is this: why does your religion allow say that people that are atheists should be killed? Why does it say that we can, harm our wives if they disobey us? Why does your Quran allow us to be misogynistic?
No, it says that no, it's not. None of those things are true. First of all, you can't even hit a woman in Islam, but
Yes, you
and
can.
it
Yes,
doesn't
you
allow you
can.
to be
Yes, you can.
misogynistic.
Now you're dishonest. See, religion makes you dishonest. Your
That's
Quran absolutely says you can hit somebody in 434. Absolutely.
it doesn't say that.
Yes, it does. It says if your wife disobeys, you can hit.
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that.
Yes, it does.
You haven't read it.
Want me to bring the verse to you?
Yeah, bring it.
434. Go look at 434. I can't believe you don't even know your own Quran, right? Like
Read
I
it.
have to explain to you the verse. Islam
Sometimes the way you translate it from English to Arabic, it can make it seem like it's worse than it is.
No. Stop with the dumb excuses, right?
Let me hear it. Let me hear it. Let me see that quote.
Let me see it. See, this is embarrassing that you come up to my live as a Muslim and not even know anything about your book, and you're dishonest. So it says here, men are in charge of women.
That's true.
That's misogyny.
They're women. They're women, not all women.
Bingo. That's misogyny. They're not.
They're in charge of their woman.
No,
They
they're
gotta
not.
lead their woman.
Nobody's
Yeah,
in
they are.
charge of women.
So
Nobody's in charge of women, jackass.
women are in charge of you because like you weigh like
No, they're
120
not,
pounds.
jackass.
But
You're not
normally
in charge of somebody.
you need a haircut. You gotta sue your barber. What happened to your hair?
There's proof that religion doesn't make you a good person. There it is. There's the evidence we're waiting for the whole time. See? That's why religion is harmful. You're misogynistic. You get to insult people because you think God's on your side. And that's why people are literally being killed in the Middle East right now, because they think it's their land that God gave them. You might not see it. The saddest part is that you don't see the harm you're causing. You think it's okay in the name of your God. But the harm you're causing transcends your beliefs. It goes beyond your own self, right? It's harming other people. You don't see it, but you're stuck in your little paradigm, unable to see the harm you're causing. It's the saddest thing. All right, guys, keep tapping. Please send me, follow my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube, link in bio. Hey, what do you got?
Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yep, what do you got?
All right, I got one thing for you. So you believe in evolution, correct?
Yep, evolution's a fact.
Okay, so you believe in the theory of evolution.
No, there is no such thing as a
No, it's
theory
a
of
theory.
evolution. It's a fact.
Okay, so you believe in science?
Science is not a belief, it's a method.
Okay, well, do you trust what science says?
I trust what the evidence can demonstrate.
Well, that's not what I'm asking. I'm saying, because if you trust science, you got to trust all science. So do you trust what
No,
scientists say?
I don't. Wait, that's a faulty question. I don't trust science. What I trust is the evidence that demonstrates using the methodology of science. I understand that there are biases. I understand that there are errors that we can make. But the point is that science does work. The fact of reality is that science is a method that does work. It's not perfect, but it does work. Now, what's your point?
So laws of science, such as law of gravity, that stuff, those are facts, correct?
A law is a description of a description of what exists in reality.
Okay, so with evolution, can you please explain to me the law of biogenesis cannot come from non-life? So can you explain how this universe came to be?
That's not true. There is no such law of biogenesis that exists anymore. That's been debunked years ago.
Okay, so can you explain to me how life came from non-life?
Sure. Life is a chemical process. It's not an object. So when we say what makes you alive, you have to understand that what makes you alive is a process. The interactions, the collective interactions of all those molecules in your body. Non-life, you're made of completely non-living things. DNA is not alive. DNA is not living. What makes you alive is the interactions, like I just said. So when we say non-life makes life, what we mean is amino acids, proteins, lipids. These organic molecules interact in chemical ways that yield this property of, or the system of things we call life, the system of changes, the system of chemical interactions that lead to living beings who can replicate and reproduce. That's life. Life is when you have a biochemical process that enables it to replicate itself. That's how life comes from non-life.
So, okay, that still doesn't prove, though, how this world came to be. What started in the beginning? If there's no God, what was in the beginning and what created what was in the beginning?
Who said there was a beginning?
Well, there has to be a beginning.
Why?
If there's a God, there's a beginning. If there's no God, then there has to be a beginning.
Why?
Well, why wouldn't there be?
Because the universe can be infinite in space and time.
And what's your proof that it's infinite in space and time?
I didn't say it was, I said it could be. And because it's mathematically coherent for a universe to be infinite in space and time.
But see, that's where your theory of evolution gets faulty, because you guys can't prove a beginning, but the Bible proves a beginning.
Evolution has nothing to do with the Big Bang. It has to do with life and the natural selection of life. The Big Bang is a model that describes how the universe expanded from a hotter, denser state. It is not the beginning.
Okay, well, Christianity is the only religion that teaches what was in the beginning and how the beginning came to be. And it says...
No, your Bible is a book of stories. It is not validated by any evidence, period. It's a story that says donkeys can talk and people can walk on water. It's a storybook.
Evolution is theory of evolution, because evolution can't be proven.
So evolution is
the same scientists. Let me
correct you. Okay, evolution is a proven fact.
It's
and the
a
reason
theory.
why, yes, is because we can observe evolution in the fossil record, in our DNA sequencing, and in lab experiments, right? Richard Lenski in the 1990s took a bacteria and took their population, split them in two, and observed their speciation over multiple generations. That's macroevolution observed in a lab. We also have the fossil record, which demonstrates it, and human chromosome 2, another great proof of evolution, where chromosomal fusion occurred between us and the chimps about 6 million years ago, and from that process yielded us, a human species, off from a chimp species. So the point is that the proof of evolution is there. It is a fact. You're confusing the theory of natural selection for evolution. Evolution on its own refers to genetic changes, which we observe. Natural selection is the model of that, the mechanism of it. And that is something that is also based on evidence and facts.
Okay, I have one more question for you. Can I ask another question?
Yeah, fire away.
Okay. So, you told that other guy about the men controlling women is misogyny, and I would agree with that. Now, can you tell me, if there is no God, if there's no ultimate ruler or judge, how are we in our human minds able to tell what is morally wrong? Because 100 years ago, killing someone in public wasn't morally wrong, and now us as humans have decided it is. So who are we in our human minds to decide what's misogyny?
Because we learn as a society. We as people can look at the consequences, the real consequences to our actions. I can go around, I can punch somebody in the face, and it hurts them, and people around me can judge. And I can learn from that as well. I can learn from your experience as a person. And I can go, hey, you don't want to be hurt, so I don't do it. You don't want to be treated like a slave, so let's not do it. We learn about each other. Yes, human nature is harsh, but society has filtered out all that harshness to some degree. And we live with each other. And in this process, we've learned to live with each other in ways that we like to live, we prefer to be. That's all morality means. Morality is a human thing. You know, emanate our preferences as to how we want to live with each other, and it changes over time, and that's the beauty of it. It changes. Yes, you're damn right, morality changes, because we are learning about each other as we grow.
All right, that's all I got for you, but I appreciate having a respectful debate with you.
Great. Thank you.
Mhm.
If you need God for morality, you don't have morality. You have orders.
Hello?
How old are you?
18. Like this month. Swear to God, 2000. Yeah. So you told the last guy that the universe is infinite and it didn't have a beginning. So what's the
Could be.
theory
No,
about the
no,
Big
no.
Bang?
I never said that. I said it could be. Very key word there. Could be. I don't.
But they have a strong sense from mathematical calculations that it does have a beginning.
Where? What's the calculation?
Okay, literally Einstein, like the great mathematician, he predicted that the universe had a beginning, and it is agreed upon by most people,
I
right?
don't care. This is an appeal to authority, right? I'm asking for evidence that the universe must have had a beginning, and citing Einstein,
Because
which
everything else in nature has a beginning.
no. What do you mean by beginning? Nothing has a beginning.
Yes, it
Nothing.
does.
Nothing
Earth
just
had a beginning.
pops. Well, when you say beginning, you mean a beginning for change to occur, right? I agree with you there that things begin to change, but nothing begins to exist. Nothing just pops out of nowhere and just begins to exist, right?
The universe as we know it did.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
That's just the theory that we're all like living off of.
What do you mean?
The Big Bang. That's the theory we all live around.
The Big Bang has no bearing on a beginning. The Big Bang simply refers to a moment in time when the universe was smaller, hotter, and denser.
Likely because of a collision, because there was previous matter, like you said, that already existed and
There is no collision. This is not an explosion.
It's literally described as a singularity. A singularity can be created by an explosion, and that's the most an explosion from a collision, which is the most logical explanation for why there was a condensed heat.
No. So the universes are not exploding, right? The expansion of the universe is happening everywhere, even today.
Yeah, because of that explosion.
We're in the Big Bang right now. We are in the Big Bang today. Right now, as you speak, we are in the Big Bang. So it's not an explosion, right? It's an expansion of all points of space-time.
Because it was an explosion.
No.
Things expand from explosions. They go outward. A shockwave. You ever heard of it?
I did heard of it, but guess what, buddy? The universe is not exploding from one point. All points in the universe are expanding away from each other at equal rates. That's not an explosion. That's an expansion.
That's what a shockwave is. It's expanding from a singularity or an explosion.
A shockwave has differences, right? And it emanates from one point. The Big Bang is not emanating from one point. There was no one point where everything just went. That's not the Big Bang. The Big Bang is happening today. The universe is stretching at all points of it.
So So that's your theory about the universe. Like, so wait,
This is a fact. We observe this expansion.
be I don't even know like what to go off of here.
We can tell.
Yeah, because somehow I can't get my point across to you that I'm trying to make. It's if okay, so there wasn't just suddenly heat and condensed matter. It was caused because of an explosion. It's
No, so we don't know if there was an origin to matter as we know it today, but we know that
where'd it come from?
it's possible that the universe could have always existed, or if there was something preceding the Big Bang, there could be a quantum mechanical explanation. Not an explosion. No explosion would make the universe we know today. Explosion is chaotic. The universe was a very orderly place at the very start, as we can see, but explosion would not cause the universe we see today. An explosion comes from one single point, and that's not the Big Bang at all. The Big Bang is happening at all points.
But what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean it's possible that it was forever? Because, like I said, nothing in the universe as we know it is forever. It has a beginning as we know it.
What? Name me one thing that had a beginning in the universe.
Okay, as we know it, the universe as we know it, Earth, sun, galaxy, me, you, as we know it.
The sun is a ball gas. The Earth is a ball of rocky material. And we can trace back all these pieces of particles. Right? Imagine taking the Earth and splitting it into a bunch of particles. We can trace each one of those particles back to nebula clouds billions of years ago. And before that, we can trace it back to the Big Bang, right? So we have a 13.8 billion years of cosmic evolution where we can trace every particle in the universe today back to that matter could have always existed in some primordial state and since then expanded in today's universe. The point is that there doesn't have to be this cause or this Big Bang or this God to cause it. There could be a natural thing. No need for God.
Yeah, there could be, but it's mathematically, or not God. I didn't say anything about God, but it's mathematically more likely that there was not that. Like
not that. Okay, how are you basing this information on? Like, why are you saying?
Because what mathematician has gone and calculated your theory? Like that's where are you getting this from? You're just saying it could happen. It could be what happened.
Sure. No, what I'm saying is we can observe the Big Bang with telescopes. We can see the Big Bang with telescopes. That's how we know it happened. This is called astronomy. But what's your point here? Like, even if the Big Bang is false, it doesn't mean God exists.
I haven't brought up God once.
Great. So why are you here? What's your point?
My point is about the last guy. You were just saying, well, this could be what happened, but that's just not how debating works. You have to say, okay, from this person's educated standpoint, he said this, and that's which I'm talking about. Like,
when I get to your level as a mathematician, then I'll maybe be as smart as you. Hey, what do you got?
Hey, man, I want to know, what's your idea of like how the world was created? Like, how do you think everything came about?
You did it. Who said it had to be created?
So you just think it was always here, like nothing, like...
It could have been. I don't know why you have to know for a fact if we don't have enough data for it. The universe could have always existed, or if there was a beginning, it could be something natural. You don't need God.
I mean, there's a bunch of theories. I didn't know if you were like following any of them, or you have like any interest in them, like that you kind of have idea, or you just saying whatever.
Nobody knows the origins of the universe, sir. If there was a beginning or not, we don't know.
Yeah, I'm saying there's theories. I didn't know if you follow any of them. I'm trying to get that idea of like what you believe.
We have models. We have models. Okay, congratulations. What's your point? What is your solution? What is the answer to the mystery? What is your answer? And if you're going to say God did it, we're just going to dismiss that. That's stupid. science and critical thinking.
Your thing says God is
Yeah,
imaginary.
we're not talking about God. We're talking about how we
Right.
get to that God, right? How we get evidence for that thing and what evidence means. That's a different discussion than God. Priest or a pastor.
Yeah, but you still ask people about every single day. You just
Yeah,
pop
'cause
up
I'm asking
randomly.
for
So
evidence.
I just wanted to see your point of view of like, how did you like? What do you believe? Like, you just believe in nothing?
No, I believe in facts, and the science we have today only goes so far in understanding the world. But that's all we got. The best we got is science. And what science says is that there could have been a Big Bang, a universe that was smaller, hotter, denser, and expanded. There could be nebula clouds that collapse due to gravity, form planetary disks. These are things that we observe, and they're likely the case. What's the alternative here, though? What is your solution to this?
No, I'm like, what's your purpose? Like, what do you think your purpose in life is? What is the purpose of life according to you?
The ultimate purpose in life to me is to not have a specific purpose, to do things that produce purpose, right? To produce it on my own in any way I can, helping other people, changing other people's lives, discovering something amazing, falling in love, right?
I
These
ask
are
a
all
question?
purposes that I can do without God.
Okay, wait. How do you fall in love? Like, what is love to you?
It's a complex chemical process in the mind.
Okay, explain it. Where does it come from?
Comes from the prefrontal cortex, the limbic system, where we can see blood flow.
So then you would have to know, like, we have a purpose, right?
Blood flow. Want that to be the case. We want it to be the case that there's a purpose for our existence. We live in this mysterious world and we're going, why are we here? Why are we here? But perhaps that question is unanswerable. Perhaps there is no reason why we're here. Maybe we're on our own and we are the only ones who can develop and make purpose happen. Maybe purpose is subjective, and it's not that we have to wait for it to come to us, but maybe we can make it on our own. Maybe we can do something purposeful,
You
right?
think, like, do you think morality is subjective?
Yeah, it seems to be the case.
Okay, what do you think about murder? Do you think it's wrong, or do you think it's up to?
It's wrong to me. It's wrong.
But what if I thought that it was okay? You would be okay with that?
No, I think you're crazy.
But why? Morality is subjective.
Yeah.
my
So just
morals
because
are
you have a different opinion than me, you have a different opinion than me, right? And that means that you think differently. But most sane people agree that murder is wrong because we know it's harming other people and we don't want to be harmed ourselves, right? So that's why it's wrong to us. I don't need to look inside of a book to know that murder is wrong.
I also don't need to look inside of a book.
Okay, great. So then morality can come without God
It's
or a
an
Bible.
objective. It's an objective thing. Like, murder is wrong unless you have something wrong with you.
Okay, why is murder objectively wrong to you? Why is it wrong regardless of what anybody thinks?
Hurting other people.
That's
who
subjective.
have lives.
That's your opinion.
No, that's objective. I'm pretty sure every single person would agree.
That's your opinion, though.
Okay, so then let's. Oh, I was muted.
No, you're not. No, you're
Oh,
not. Yeah.
it said I was muted by moderator Amanda.
You're good. Just keep going.
No, so if it's subjective though, then you wouldn't be able to be okay with laws, pretty much.
Laws are subjective. We are the lawgivers, right? We are the ones who decide what the law is. We decide that collectively as a society, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? You don't need God for laws. You don't need God for morality.
There's an overarching, like, objective morality that we all follow. And there are certain
Where is
people-
it? Where is it? Where is it?
It's here
It's written.
in society.
That's something we made up. We made up morality in the society.
So what do you think, like, life is? Like, what's your goal? You go on live all the time. You talk about God, even though you don't believe in him. You talk about God more than Christians do sometimes. Like,
Yeah,
He
and
is in your mind rent
that's the
free.
reason why. The reason why is because Christians don't talk enough about their religion. That's why it's kept so secretly and sacredly in society. That's the issue. That's why people are so religious, because we don't talk about it enough. And I'm here to say that we can talk about these things. We can criticize these beliefs. It is okay to criticize your beliefs because they're bad and they harm society. They make society worse. Christianity and Islam especially take away our rights. They tell us that it's okay to beat people. That it's okay to take ownership
Okay,
over people.
where do Christians say it's okay to beat people?
Oh, worse, you can murder in Christianity.
Yeah,
Leviticus
go ahead.
20:13.
What's the verse?
Leviticus 20:13.
Let's pull up the Bible.
Exodus 21:7 allows you to own a slave.
Are you cherry picking?
Yeah, he's cherry picking. Let's go. Let's head to the New Testament and see what.
Are you saying that there's a context where slavery is okay?
No.
Then why would it be cherry
New
picking?
Testament?
Okay?
Have you read the Bible, or are you just Googling verses
did.
that match your opinion because you don't like God? Which is why you talk, like you go on live all the time saying God is imaginary, because you clearly have something against God.
Okay. Do you think it's wrong to own a slave?
Yeah.
Okay, then why did your God allow it in Exodus 21?
Okay. We're pulling out the Bible.
There you go. Now we're talking. See, this is why I talk about your religion, because you don't do it enough. You don't open up a Bible. You don't know what's in the book.
You're not even opening up a Bible.
Because I know the verse before you have to open it up. I knew.
People saying just go along with it because in the greater good, I will present you with something much greater. You need to just follow along with the laws of society, even though, like, where in the Bible does it say that slavery is okay?
It doesn't. But what was it? Exodus what? Exodus what?
Leviticus 21. Leviticus 25 also says you can own a slave and beat them with a rod as long as they die.
Give me the Exodus one again.
21:7.
21:7. Gotcha.
It says you can own your daughter as a slave. You can sell your daughter as a slave.
There are times in the Bible where God is talking about the societies in the day.
Yeah, that's a bad society, right? You think that's wrong? Okay, great.
He's going to help you through it in the long run. Like,
how does slavery help us in the long run?
That's not what I said.
How does murdering people for being LGBT, how is that helping us in the long run?
That is not what I said.
Okay, great. So then you agree that murder or slavery is always wrong, right?
27:7?
Yes, Exodus 21:7.
21:7.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm gonna say that. You're out. 21:7. That's 14. 21:7. When a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as a man.
It also allows grape in the Bible. Your God also allows grape.
It's not just my God, it's your God too, by the way. I mean, you talk about him all the time. You had to. It's at some
Your
belief.
God seems to have no evidence behind them. It seems
But
like he
he's
doesn't
in your
exist.
mind rent free.
There's plenty of evidence.
Where?
Science.
Look at
Also,
science.
you were saying science before.
'cause-
Science has been wrong.
'cause
The
you-
Bible has not been proven wrong.
Because you said that you don't believe that the world was created, right? And then you also brought up science of like scientists literally saying that the world has an age, like there's an age of the world, and before it was a dark void. Like down to the fine tuning, there's obviously a creator. Like the world had to be perfect to be created, even though like you say like, oh, I don't believe in a creator, but like scientists prove.
What's a perfect world look like? You think this is a perfect world?
It is perfect. Like it's literally had to be like. Not
Okay,
like
so-
I'm not
so
going to say the
so-
humanity. I'm not going to say humanity is perfect, but like the earth,
so
the
it's
earth
not
itself
perfect.
to be life living on it had to been perfect.
Okay, great. So
Down
you're
to the
saying the
fine
law,
tuning,
so
like
you're
the-
saying, okay, great. So you're saying that the laws of nature had to be configured in such a way that allowed for life to exist, correct?
Yeah, down to the fine tuning, it had to have been perfect for it to be.
So if that's the case, why is it that 99.9999% of the entire universe we can't live in? Why is it that 99% of all living beings are now extinct? Why is life so hard to come by on this planet? Why do we have to kill each other to survive?
Does that not prove that
doesn't sound like a tuned universe to me
does
for
that
life.
prove
sir.
that there's a miracle that you're
That
alive
does
right now,
not
that you
seem
have
like
a
a
purpose?
tuned-
Hold up. Does that
It does not sound like
your
a finely
purpose?
tuned universe to me.
Hold on, does that not reroute your purpose though? Because you just said you can't live, and the potential of life is very slim, right? Correct?
Yeah, that's why life is valuable, because it's so rare.
Exactly. So if life's valuable, you have a purpose.
That purpose is subjective, right? I can produce purpose.
Okay.
Purpose.
Okay, man.
Well, let me ask you this then.
Go ahead.
What purpose does God have for existing? What's God's purpose?
God's purpose is the love, obviously. That's what he's shown. He displayed it on the cross.
Why does God exist?
Why does God exist? That's why we exist. It's life. He's
No. Why does God exist? What's God's purpose for existing?
He was everlasting. He always existed. Like, I don't know what you.
Why?
What
What's
you
his
trying to
purpose?
say.
So his purpose is just to exist? That's it? It's not purpose.
For you to be able to breathe.
Why does God exist? What's God's purpose? Does he have one?
Okay, so it's like the fishbowl analogy. We are inside the fishbowl. He's outside of it. Like, he doesn't need a purpose. He's the creator.
Oh, okay. So God doesn't have a purpose.
We're the creation.
So how do we have purpose? How do we have purpose if God doesn't have a purpose?
I mean, if you're comparing yourself to God, then that's on you.
I'm better than your God will ever be. Your God allows people to be raped and owned as slaves and does nothing about it. While I would stop somebody on the street.
He's blaming God for humans doing.
See, look, your
for
God sits there. Look, guys, listen. Your God sits up in heaven, his magic kingdom, and does nothing when people are dying on the streets. Whereas I would go and help those people. That's a difference between me and your pathetic God.
How do you
It's
know
a
he's
human.
not helping them?
Are you out there helping people?
Yeah, I have helped many people in my life, and guess what? God didn't.
By going on TikTok Live, is that how you're helping people?
Is that how you're helping people? By saying
You're
God is
physically
imaginary?
helping people?
Absolutely, helping people by spreading facts and realizing that your religion is harmful.
So you're physically helping people. By the Bible says, like, literally, you shall not murder. So you're physically helping people by
The
going
Bible
out
says-
on the streets.
The Bible doesn't view some people as actually people, right? Your Bible views LGBT people as non-people because they are sinners. They are
What
bad.
are you talking
What
about?
verse?
Non-people. They don't
What
view them
verse?
as non-people.
Leviticus 20:13.
Go ahead, pull it up. They're not people. That's your
Yeah.
claim.
Because your God allows you to kill them, unalive them. And that's justified to God.
Leviticus 20:13. Also, I will say Leviticus says that you can't get tattoos. I have tattoos.
It's kind of funny that he's only
You're
quoting.
using the Old Testament.
He's only quoting the Old Testament when there's a whole
Oh,
New
but I
Testament
thought-
that was
but I
created.
thought-
Hold on. Let's get the context of the New Testament. The New Testament was created because that's the new covenant that we're under. We're not under the Old
Oh.
Testament anymore. It's like
But
we're under.
I thought morality. Hold on, guys. I thought morality was objective. I thought morality was always absolutely correct.
It's still God, but the New Testament
20
is what we're under now. The Old Testament
Oh,
is
so
how
morality
God
can
was
change.
when
So
the
God's
New
morality can
Testament come onto
change.
earth.
So God's morality can
You don't want to hear
change.
that truth. You don't want to hear that
He doesn't.
truth.
So his morality can change?
No, it's still be the same.
It's the same, but the book's different. Who do I believe? The New Testament, the Old Testament, the New Testament. Which
23?
one do I believe?
Calm down.
23 what?
What was the verse?
context?
Leviticus what?
What context justifies killing somebody because of their sexuality?
Yeah, what verse says that?
Leviticus 20:13.
2013.
It is right.
I'm surprised you don't know your verse in your Bible.
You expect us to remember the whole Bible when you would just remember cherry pick
Yeah, we don't.
verses?
we don't
Like, come on
focus
now.
that.
This is a very important verse to know. This is a very important verse to know.
You
If
have
I
these
Google,
verses
if I Googled
memorized.
these verses and wrote them on a little sticky note and sat it next to my live camera, like, come on now, chill All right.
You have
If a
them
man,
memorized because those are the ones that you think are in your favor.
They're
a
in
man.
everybody's
What's
favor.
okay? Let me ask you
Everybody,
this:
everybody here is
What's
benefiting
John
from
1:1?
exposing this
Yeah,
nonsense.
What's John 1:1? Tell me that, since you have so many verses memorized.
I don't care about John 1:1.
Exactly. Exactly.
Did I ever say I know every verse? I
Yeah,
never
stick
said
to your
I
movie
never
version.
said I know every. Hold on, guys. I never said I know every verse.
If a
You're
man
like,
lies with
Stop.
a male,
Stop. Listen.
as with a woman, both of them
Show
are
us that it. Show us what justifies killing people that are dead. That are gay.
admitted. 13.
Can you guys read?
yeah, we are. Let's.
Let's get the
I'll read
context.
this while you read John 1:1. Go ahead.
Can you pay attention to the argument and stop
Yeah.
deflecting?
So go ahead.
Okay.
Read John 1:1, and I'll read this.
No, read the verse first so we can expose your ass.
Salty.
He's so mad.
A little mad, huh?
Not mad. I'm sad that people like you guys are too willfully ignorant about your Bible. I mean, you're in your toxic cult.
I mean, if you
Cult?
cherry pick verses without context, I mean, that's what you're.
Okay, great. So what's the context of the
literally
verse?
what
What's
you
the
do.
context?
Anything. I did that
So
to
what
you.
justifies killing people for their sexuality?
There's a different time zone. Slavery was okay at one point. People actually thought it was okay at one point. Like, it's a whole different time zone.
So your God thinks that it's okay to own slaves for certain times?
It's a different.
No.
The
Okay,
morality
in
was completely
Leviticus-
different.
In Leviticus, it also says you shouldn't get tattoos. I have tattoos, and I'm a Christian.
Okay,
That
great.
was
So do
back
you think
in
it's
the day.
wrong to
That
own a
was-
slave?
That
Guys,
was
do you
God.
think it's wrong? Stop.
was
You guys
God-
are you guys are so funny, right?
At one point, your ancestors.
That
owned
was
slaves at the
God
same time,
telling
right?
his people how to like be in society in their world, like how it was happening. It was how
Okay,
to
great.
survive.
So you think
But
back
we
then it
don't
was
listen
okay to
that
murder?
anymore because it was covered by Jesus, which is why we listen to the New
Okay,
Testament.
great. So
Tell
you're
me a
saying
New
that there was a
Testament
point.
verse.
Give me a
You're
New
saying,
Testament.
New
Matt,
Testament
guys,
verse.
Yeah,
guys,
give us some New Testament verses
guys,
that condemns. I mean,
guys,
that accepts deaths.
guys, are you guys saying that there was a time where it was okay to kill somebody for their sexuality?
No.
Great. So then what context is it okay to kill somebody for their sexuality as Leviticus 20:13 says?
I'm sure in past societies that was a thing, which was wrong. Just like a lot of
No,
things
this is
in
your
past
God's
societies
command.
And that's
This
why the
have
new
been
covenant
wrong.
was
is your God's
created.
command. Your God commands this.
No, it's not commanded.
Yes.
Commanded. It doesn't even.
Okay,
It says, your
tell
Lord
me-
says, the verse right before it says, this is your God's command. Your Lord says.
Give me a New Testament verse that says anything about slavery, anything about
Okay, Timothy
sexuality,
2:12 says
anything like
that
Go ahead.
Timothy 2:12 in the New Testament says that women can't speak in churches. That's misogyny. That's misogyny.
Yeah, that's how the church works. So do you know how like an order works?
You think women should be silenced?
It's not silenced. It's just like, do you know how it works? You clearly don't.
Soy boy.
Guys, nice. You have deflected everything I gave you. You're like Neo from the Matrix, dodging all these bullets. It's amazing. Can you please attack the argumentation here today? It seems like you're deflecting everything I give you.
What was verse Timothy?
No, I did say that. But it was talking to a certain church. He's not bringing it in any context.
All right. They are so dishonest. I can't. Talk about a different church.
God is,
All right, what do you got?
man, God is so real. I can prove that to you right now. One day
Great, let's hear
God is
it.
going to come down from earth. One day God is going to come down from heaven. He's going to kiss those no lips of yours.
He's
And
going
then
to
he's
kiss
going to
my
come out.
large.
He's going to
kiss my large
squeeze your big.
genitals. He's going to kiss my big genitals.
I was just wondering why you don't think God is like real.
There's no evidence for it.
Okay. And what verse did you say when you said women shouldn't speak in church?
Timothy 2:12. Now, do you have evidence for God?
Yeah. That's really it.
You cut out what?
Oh no, I just wanted to learn.
Okay, have a good day. Keep tapping, guys. Everybody go follow my YouTube for all my debates. Lots of great content on my YouTube. Hello? Go follow my YouTube, guys. Link in.
Hey, bro, how you doing? You okay?
Yeah, what do
You
you
hear
got?
me?
What do you got?
Well, brother, I understand when you say God doesn't exist because what religion has done in the name of God is terrible.
Okay, great.
But,
So give us evidence for God.
well, God is imaginary, to be honest. But God lives to every one of us.
Hey, what do you got? Hello? Evolution is not a theory, it's a fact. We can observe it.
Just because you haven't experienced anything from God, He's for real, dude.
What have you experienced from God? Did God give you a new car? Did He find your car keys for you?
No. I actually used to be a crack addict, and I cried out to something that I didn't know if He was there or not, and He took that problem of mine away. I've been straight and sober for 20 years.
Okay. Well, I'm
And
very
I
happy for
received
you.
all,
Okay.
I went by what the Bible said and
Okay.
repented and turned
Okay.
away from my sin.
Okay. I'm
And
very
I've
happy
been,
for you. Okay, great. I'm very happy for you, Mark, and I'm proud. But the problem is that when you say God did it, right? That's a very peculiar claim you're making. And when you make these big claims like this, you need evidence to say it, to show it. Because I know many
well,
atheists. I know many people are atheists and change without praying for God, right? They're atheists. They don't believe in God. How did they change if God didn't help them, right? So there are natural reasons as to why people change their habits. And what can explain your scenario
did
is
they feel the
placebo.
glory of God?
Okay, great.
Did
So
they feel,
how do you know
did
God
they
helped
feel
you?
the glory of God?
How
It
do you
was
know
like
God
winning.
helped you?
It was like winning the lottery, dude. I got so happy
Okay.
that I couldn't explain the
Yeah.
experience. It didn't go away. It stuck around for a while.
Okay, I
And I was,
understand, sir. I understand, but I'm asking you, how do you know it was God that helped you? For sure. How do you know it?
well, how could you not know if an a person he classifies imaginary, something that happened out of the power of the invisible, of actually taking that cravings of the alcohol and
People can leave their addictions without God. You don't need God for it.
Good morning.
What do you got?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, what do you got? What's your argument?
I mean, good morning.
Goodbye. Thank you, Sherry. Snapchat in bio.
Yeah, do you get any bitches at all? I'm assuming not.
Yeah, I do. But just because you think somebody doesn't get women doesn't mean that they're a bad person. That's extremely hateful to say to somebody. Extremely hateful to say to somebody that they don't get women, so therefore they're bad. It's just a terrible insult to make. Yeah, just your average friendly Christian. The loving Christian. Hey, what do you got?
I've been following you, I think, last week, and I've been listening to whatever you are saying, and I'm not challenging, but my biggest thing I want to.
Okay, we can barely hear you, sir. You're like in a submarine or something.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me clear?
Okay, when you get out of the submarine, come back, okay? Bro, he's on Ocean Gate. Oh. I'm tired. This is the best show online. Thank you. Everybody subscribe to my YouTube, link in bio. I post all my debates there, arguments against God and veganism. Everything is on YouTube. I have thousands of subscribers. I post every day.
Hello, Mike. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so I actually do have evidence that God is real, and I have an argument against your go vegan, but I just want to go back to Leviticus 23:13 real quick. Just want to go back to Leviticus 23:13.
2013.
20:13. So it's the verse where he says that a man shall not lie with another man like how he lies with a woman, because that is an abomination, right?
Yeah.
Well, the context behind that is because when a man lies with another man, he does not produce fruits from that. And then what God told Adam and Eve is to populate the earth. Hold on, let me make my argument. Is to populate the earth. See, God is for life. He is pro-life. So he considered that an abomination because that does not create life.
The funny thing is that 25% of pregnancies end up with miscarriages. So if your God is pro-life, he seems to be pro-miscarriage, if anything. But the more importantly here, you're saying that it's wrong to be gay because you don't produce children. Well, first of all, gay people can have kids. Just because you're gay doesn't mean your semen doesn't work.
No. But can they have kids the natural way?
Yes, a gay person can have children with a woman. Be pro.
Can they have kids the natural way?
Yes, a gay person can have children with a woman. But a gay man and a woman can have children, which happens all the time.
That marriage is allowed. So when the
okay, great.
Wait.
No, it's not. No, guys, listen.
I'm listening.
Gay people can have sex with a woman and
Mm-hmm.
have kids. But
Exactly.
more importantly here, you're saying that it's wrong because they can't procreate.
No.
How about
I'm
people?
explaining the Bible verse to you.
How about people who can't have kids? They're infertile. Is
Mhm.
that immoral?
Okay, see, that's where you're confused, Mike. The verse does not say that he shall not marry.
Answer the question. Is it
Go ahead.
wrong to be infertile?
No, it is not wrong to be infertile.
Okay, great. So then why is it wrong to be gay?
He did not say that it was wrong to have gay marriage. He said it was wrong for a man to lay with another man.
Why? If your only
Because
solution, your only response is they can't procreate, well, no, neither
because
can
that comes out of lust. That comes out of lust.
What comes out of lust? What do you mean?
When a man lie with a man, it does not produce fruit, which means it does not produce children.
Okay,
So
great.
God
So
is
when an
against
infertile
lust.
woman, okay, great. So when an infertile man and an infertile woman try to
Have-
procreate, will they have children?
No, they will not have children.
Great. So does that make it a sin to be infertile?
Yes, because that comes out of lust. No, it doesn't make it a
So-
sin to be infertile, but the fact that they
so
are
it's a
laying each
sin
other
to
when they
be
cannot produce
infertile.
fruit, that is sin.
Sir, is it a sin to be infertile?
That is not a sin.
Okay, great. So why is it a sin to be gay?
It did not say it's a sin to be gay or have gay marriage. It said it's a sin to lay with another man because that does not produce fruit.
Okay,
Therefore, it's an
so why
abomination.
is it a
That is
sin
the
to not
explanation of the verse.
So why is it a sin to not produce fruit as a gay person, but it's perfectly okay to not produce fruit as a straight person? Why? Why the discrimination?
There is no discrimination. It is a sin to lay with
Okay,
another
great. So
person. And
then by your logic, it should also be a sin to be infertile.
no, because it's not a sin to be infertile. But if you're infertile and then you lay with someone else and do not produce fruit, that comes out of lust. Lust is the overall sin. That's the explanation of the verse. Being infertile itself is not a sin. Being gay is not a sin.
Okay, did you know that almost all sex is for lust? Do you know that?
That's the sin.
When you have
That's the sin.
children,
It
that's
does not
that's
produce
lust.
anything.
That's
That's the
lust,
sin.
right? Lust is a natural thing that we can't control, right? It's a natural
You
thing.
can
for us.
control it, Mike. You could be celibate. There
No,
are people that are
Okay,
celibate.
can you choose to be attracted to me?
No, but I could choose to be celibate
Okay,
from
great.
everybody
So you can't choose to have lust for me.
But I could choose not to act upon that attraction.
No,
That's a choice.
no, that's not what I said.
Yes, I cannot choose if I am
Stop.
attracted.
Listen.
No homo.
Stop. You are against this, and this is
I'm not.
you are homophobic.
You're
Stop
telling me what I am. You're telling me what I am.
Nothing wrong with being LGBT. So
I'm not saying there is. I'm just explaining a
do you
Bible
think-
verse to you. That
Can you choose to be gay?
no, you cannot choose to be gay, but you could choose to act upon.
Okay,
your
great.
feelings.
So can you choose to have lust for me?
Can you choose to have lust for you? No.
Okay, great. So if I can't choose to be gay nor choose to have lust for somebody, how could it possibly be a sin?
Because you choose to act upon your lust. You do not have self-control. That is the sin part of it. You're
No,
choosing to act upon it.
The point is that I don't choose the lust itself. So how can that lust be wrong?
It's only okay, but it's only a sin when you act upon it. We all have these feelings of
Okay,
lust.
great. So what about the action makes it wrong? Why is it wrong to have sex as a gay person?
Because it doesn't produce fruits. I
Okay,
explained
great.
that
So
to you.
by your logic, it should
Uh-huh.
also be wrong to be infertile because it doesn't produce
No,
fruits.
it's not wrong to be infertile, but if it
Why
is wrong
not?
to have,
What's the
it is
distinction?
wrong to have
What's
meaningless
the
SEX.
distinction? What's the distinction?
Because there is, what I'm trying to tell you is you're trying to put words into my mouth. I'm saying it's wrong to have meaningless sex. Do you agree with that or no?
No, it's perfectly fine to have meaningless sex. It's perfectly fine. What's wrong with it?
Astaghfirullah.
What's wrong with it, jackass? You homophobe? What's wrong with it?
Don't call me a homophobe. I just said
You are
I
homophobe.
just said I'm not against
You are
gay marriage.
absolutely homophobe. There's no reason. You have no reason to be so scared of gay people.
Okay,
No-
but see, look,
You have
that's
no
the thing.
reason.
That's the morality part. It has not
Why?
changed.
Why is it wrong? Why is it wrong to be gay and have gay sex? Why? Why is it wrong?
It's not wrong to be gay, but to have meaningless
Why?
sex
Why is it wrong
that
to have
produces
sex
no
like that?
fruit?
Why is it wrong to have gay sex?
Because it produces no fruit. See, God
Okay,
wants us to be the best versions
great.
of ourselves
So the only reason why you think it's wrong to be gay or to have gay
because
sex
it's meaningless
is
sex. Yes,
how
that's what
about
I believe.
infertile people? Why is it okay for infertile people to
It's
exist?
not okay to have. That's what I believe. It's not okay to have meaningless. If they
Why?
are
Why?
infertile
What's wrong
and
with
they
it?
cannot control it, then
What's wrong
there's
with it?
nothing
What's
wrong
wrong
with
with
being
having
infertile.
sex that
Just
doesn't
like,
produce
look,
fruit?
just
What's
like how you
wrong?
cannot control your lust.
Stop, and listen. Listen.
Listen.
What is wrong with having sex that doesn't lead to kids?
What's the point in it? It's meaningless.
No. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with
Because
it?
it's
Who is it for?
meaningless.
What's wrong
It's
with it?
meaningless.
What's wrong
It's
with it? What's wrong
meaningless.
with it? What is wrong
That's
with
what's
it?
wrong with it. It's meaningless.
Why? Why is that bad?
How are you gonna justify self gratification?
Why is it bad? Why is it bad?
Because it's meaningless.
Why is that bad?
Because
Why
it's
is that bad?
meaningless.
Why is that bad?
Because science has proven that in the long term, instant
No. Sir,
gratification
you can
is
have
harmful.
disease as a straight person. You can have sex as a straight person and get diseased, right? I'm
Mhm.
saying
I
what is
didn't say that,
morally
but these are
wrong?
coming out your mouth.
Listen.
I'm listening.
What is ethically wrong with having sex that doesn't lead to kids? What's wrong with that?
I said it like 5 times. You're not listening. It's meaningless.
What's wrong with it? What's wrong with
It's
it? What's
meaningless.
wrong with that? What's wrong with it being meaningless?
Because science has proven in the long term, instant gratification is harmful to
Oh my
you.
gosh, we're going in circles. What is wrong with that meaningless sex?
Because it's harmful to you in the long term.
How?
Because instant gratification literally plays with your dopamine receptors.
We're not talking about your brain. We're talking about ethics. Why is it ethically incorrect to have sex without kids?
Okay, then I would, because it is ethically incorrect to have meaningless sex because it does not produce fruits.
Why is that wrong?
It is wrong because that's what we're supposed to do as humans, produce fruits.
And who said that?
God.
Your book of magic? Your
No,
2,000-year-old book of shit.
My objective
Your
ethics.
book,
My
your
book of
2,000-year-old book of shit that says that we come from talking donkeys and
We're
talking
going
snakes.
nowhere, Mike. We're going nowhere.
Yeah,
That's my
no,
book
you're
of
going nowhere.
objective
You're going
ethics
nowhere.
and morality.
You're going nowhere because you can't justify why it's wrong to be gay or have gay sex. You can't justify it. You're going in circles. So either give the justification or go away.
Okay,
Go.
I want to talk the vegan or God is in Imagery. Do you want to move on to that?
Oh, so you're going to run away from the argument. Okay.
Okay, no, we could go to the argument.
You're
The
going to
thing
run
is, you're
away?
getting mad.
Okay, so
You're
you
getting mad.
concede?
You're getting mad.
You
I'm
concede you
not
have no fucking
conceding. I'm
argument?
proceeding because you will not.
Okay,
You are not
okay, you're conceding. Okay, great.
I'm not
Go
conceding.
ahead.
I'm not conceding. I'm not conceding.
Then give the argument or go away because you're not going to leave this, right?
Okay, so
You don't-
as humans, are we not supposed to produce fruits?
Nobody is saying that you're supposed to do this or you're supposed to do this. There's nothing wrong with simply having sex as a gay person. There's nothing about that action that is wrong. Nothing. And there's nobody in the universe going, you got to have sex for this reason.
Okay.
That's stupid.
I'm gonna
That's
let you finish.
ridiculous.
Mhm.
That's what you believe.
Okay.
Nobody else believes this shit.
Okay, but I would like to also say that's why it's meaningless. There's no use of it, and then there's no harm of it, right? It's
Doesn't make it
meaningless.
wrong. But what makes it wrong ethically?
Because my book of objective morality and ethics told me that it's wrong.
So how do you know that it's objective? How do you know that your Quran is objective?
Because it is given to me by someone who is less infinite, by
How do you know
someone
that?
who contains more.
How do you know that?
So we're going over into the God is real part.
No. You're
I mean,
supposed to
that's what
justify why it's wrong to have gay sex.
I
You
just gave
haven't
you my
done that yet.
subjective. My book of objective morality and ethics told me that it's wrong.
That's a claim. You have to show that claim, right? Where's your claim? Where's the evidence of that?
Leviticus 20:13, or the one that you just said. Leviticus
No, sir,
20:13.
that's a verse in a story. I want evidence that that's objective.
No, but to you it's a story, but to me it's a book of
sir.
objective
Yes,
ethics
I
and
want
morality.
evidence that this book is objective. It's a storybook. right? I
And
want
then
evidence that it's
so
subjective.
we are segueing into the part that God is imaginary, because then I would have to prove to you that God is real, right?
No, you don't need God for objective morality. I want you to demonstrate that your
That
morality
is
in your book
subjective.
is
That the
objective.
morality is objective
Yeah, how do you know
throughout the
that?
Bible, because
Yeah.
lust is a sin throughout the whole Bible.
How do
Lust
you
is
know?
one of the 7 sins.
How do you know? How do you know that that's a bad thing to do?
Because again, it's a book of objective ethics and morality.
It's subjective. How do you know that your book of morals is objective?
How do I know if my book of morals is objective?
Yeah.
Well, you would have to conform to that.
Really?
If we look in society.
Okay,
Hold on,
great.
let me
So
finish
you
my
think that
point.
we should murder people for having gay sex?
Does it produce fruits?
Do you think we should? Sir? Do you fucking think that we should kill people for having gay sex?
No, I don't think it's right to kill anybody.
Sir, you didn't answer my fucking question.
I just said no.
Do you think it's wrong to kill somebody for being gay or for having gay sex?
No.
So you think it's okay to kill somebody for having gay sex?
I just said no to that. I just said no, it's not okay.
Okay, great. So then you disagree with your objective Bible.
It's not that yeah, you're right. Then I disagree with my objective Bible.
Great. Congratulations. There's a contradiction in your worldview.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
All right. You want to talk about the veganism part before we segue back into God? Do you believe in the food chain?
Yeah, I believe in the food chain.
Okay, do you believe that the animals on the top of that food chain have more options into what their prey is?
Yeah, we do have options, and with options comes responsibility. We as human beings, because we're at the top of the food chain, we don't have to kill the animals. We can purchase plant-based foods.
Okay.
Hence, we should be vegan.
Okay, so do you think that it's wrong for me as a mammal? It's wrong for me as a mammal that is an omnivore, which means I can eat both plants and animals, to eat animals if I choose to.
Yeah,
if that is the way of nature, because I know if I step into a cage with a carnivore, that is a lion. He will not care about my life. He will just see me as food.
But you're not in a cage with a fucking lion. You're in your house with air conditioning, with Uber.
Because I'm on the top of
you can order fucking food at your fingertips. That is the society we're living in, and in that society, we have choices and responsibility to do the right thing and not to harm the animals. That, to me, is justification to be vegan. There's no reason to kill the animals if we don't have to.
Okay, but that's, again, it's relevant. That's if you don't want to or if you don't have to, right?
Okay, great. So what justifies harming animals?
Because I'm at the top of the food chain. That itself, nature itself justifies me.
Okay, so I'm at the top of the food chain. Can I eat a baby?
That's carnivorous. Do you think that it's right to eat a baby?
Yeah, why is it wrong? Do you think I can eat babies?
Do you think that's like cannibalism? Do you think it's right to eat a baby?
But I'm at the top of the food chain. I can eat whatever I want.
Okay, do you think it's right to do that though?
No. So what do you think? Why do you think it's wrong to eat babies?
Because they are of the same intelligence as we are. They are also on equal.
Babies? So babies can speak English? Babies can talk about poetry? Babies can talk about God?
They have the same capability to reach the same.
Babies can do mathematics? I never seen a baby do that.
I'm trying to look for the word. Can you help me look for that word, Mike? It's like, when you haven't lived up.
Ignorance, cognitive dissonance, dishonesty, lying.
Hey, when you haven't lived up to your full potential, what is that? When you have potential, exactly. They have the potential to be as equally intelligent as I am.
So what if there is
do you think?
So, okay, great. So what if there is a person who is mentally challenged such that they never had intelligence that of a cow? Does that justify killing that person who's mentally disabled?
I mean, what do you think?
No, of course not.
Okay. So of course that it does not justify that.
Great. So then you agree that
But
intelligence
anywhere
has no
in
bearing.
nature where you look.
Then you agree that intelligence has no bearing on your moral decisions.
Okay, but do you see anywhere in nature where animals cannibalize their own species because of a birth defect? Do you see that in nature?
In fact, our ancestors were cannibals, but today we don't have to be cannibals, sir. We have now a society where we don't have to eat anybody except for plants.
But do you see that in any other species where they cannibalize?
Sir, I don't get my morality from other species of animals. Sir, I
Why
get
not?
my morality from us. Okay, I don't need to look at elephants or tigers or lions to get my morality. I am a human being, and in that sense, I can make choices. And we don't have to kill any person. We don't have to kill any animal either.
So that's a personal choice.
Yeah. So what's morally better, to kill less animals or to kill more animals to you?
I mean, animals are going to be killed anyway because of nature itself.
So are people. Does that justify murder?
So wait, what do you mean so are people? What do you mean by
We're all going to die eventually. Does that justify just murdering people?
No, it does not justify just
Okay,
murdering people.
so then it doesn't justify killing animals, because even if the animals die in the future, it doesn't mean we get to kill them today.
But in nature, a predator is allowed to kill prey, right?
Yeah, but that's because they have to do it for survival needs. We don't. We can go to the store and buy whatever the fuck we want. The animals, you don't see lions in stores, do you?
So wait, okay, I hear what you're saying. So what do you want to do? Like, do you want to just force people to eat plants and plants only?
No, I want people to come to the logical and ethical conclusion that their choices can harm others, and to make the right choice is the one where there's less harm and suffering.
But why would you care about hurting an animal when, like you said, it's not human?
They're sentient. They're sentient like we are.
Okay, but they still have not the same intelligence capabilities as we are.
Sure they are. Pigs, cows, chickens, they're all as intelligent, if not more intelligent than human babies and toddlers.
Okay,
Cows
I
are
mean,
very intelligent
pigs
beings.
Pigs eat their own doo-doo. Do you think that's what a capable
People,
intelligence being do?
there are people who can't even tie their own shoes, who are mentally challenged. Does that justify killing those people?
Okay, but that's like on a different scale because that's a higher form of intelligence, tying your own shoes.
It's the same intelligence, sir, the equivalent intelligence between a mentally challenged person and a cow. It's the same intelligence.
So are you trying to imply that mentally challenged people have the same intelligence as a cow?
Yeah.
That's what you're implying?
Yeah.
So you
Toddlers
believe
as well. Toddlers have the same intelligence of cows.
No, but the thing with toddlers is they have the capability to be as equally intelligent as we are. But you're implying that.
Yeah, but not mentally challenged people.
Yeah,
They don't.
So if they don't have this, so wait, you're implying if they don't have the same capability to reach the same potential intelligence as we do, are you implying that they are equal to a cow, not a human?
There's no morally relevant distinction between an animal and a person in that way. That's the point. If I asked you what's the difference between an animal and a person, you'll say intelligence, right? And I say, well, what if the intelligence levels are the same? And I gave you the example, right? The mentally disabled person. And in that sense, if the intelligence is the same, what's the difference? What justifies killing the animal?
So your reasoning is, according to your reasoning, if the intelligence level is the same as an animal, which you're implying that a mentally challenged person has the as an animal, which you're implying that a mentally challenged person has then justifies not harming the animal because they are equal to a mentally challenged person, is what you're implying.
Yeah, I'm saying there's no morally relevant distinction there. What is the distinction? What's the difference between animals and people?
Well, the distinction is that we care for our own. We would not harm our own, but everything under our species.
There are people that are murderers.
Okay, do you see the majority of the species doing that?
No, same with the animals. The majority of cows don't harm anybody. The majority of animals don't harm anybody.
That's what I'm saying. There's always outliers within a species, yes or no?
Okay, great.
One
Same with
species does not
humans.
actually
So
need
what's
to
your point? Again, we're back to square one. They're the same. There's no distinction between us and the
I'm
animals.
just disproving your distinction.
What's the distinction?
You said there's people. You said, do you see people just murdering? I said we care for our own. That's why we do not harm our own. But you said there's people killing people every day, and then I said that they are outliers to our species. The majority of our species does not do that.
Same with the animals. The majority of cows don't harm anybody.
Okay. I concede. I concede on the vegan argument.
Wow. Okay. Hey, I really I appreciate your honesty. That's
Doesn't mean I'm gonna be a
awesome.
vegan, but
I appreciate your honesty.
all right,
What
now
I
let's
don't-
talk about
What I
God.
don't appreciate is the homophobia in the Bible. So I hope you change on that.
Well, I mean, I'm not the one that could really change that. I'm not God.
Well, there is no evidence of a God, but thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate your honesty. And on that note, thank you for being here, guys. Everybody, subscribe to the YouTube.
I've studied the scriptures, dissected their claims, found contradictions and fallacies. It's all just a game. I'm an atheist, breaking theism like glass.